Welcome to the Green Building Show, where we investigate green design and building trends throughout Australia.
Australia's love affair with weatherboard homes drove us to spotlight all things weatherboard at Light Home this month. In our final episode for this series of the Green Building Show, we will be looking at how weatherboards fare in harsh conditions like fire, damp, rain and heat. We will also break down how a fibre cement weatherboard is made, and we'll speak to weatherboard expert Ronnie Nunez, who is the team leader of Engineer Solutions at James Hardie. While it's pretty straightforward that timber weatherboards come from trees, it's not so obvious what fibre cement weatherboards are made from. So let's break it down. First, add sand. Grind it to a fine powder. It is then moved into a ball mill where steel balls smash the sand into a fine powder. Water is added to keep the dust down. This turns the sand into a liquid. The excess water is drained and the product left behind is about 80% sand. Now it's time for the wood pulp. This allows the finished board to have bending strength and prevents it from being brittle and cracking. Water is added to liquefy the pulp. The sand, wood pulp, cement and additives are mixed together. Giant sieves rotate the slurry of ingredients and the conveyor belt rolling above is left with a fibre cement film on its surface. The conveyor belt rolls the film to a felt belt. A vacuum sucks the excess moisture through the felt until a solid fibre sheet is formed. Massive rollers squeeze several of these sheets together, which are moist enough to stick together, eventually fusing into one thick board. A roller presses a wood finish onto the board. The board is then sliced into planks by a high-pressured water spray. They are then baked in ovens. Pressurised steam enhances the chemical reaction of the ingredients and helps cure the boards. The boards are then shaken to make sure they aren't sticking together. It is then tested by a rod which places pressure on it to ensure its strength. If it withstands the test, it moves forward. It is then painted. The process takes 3 days from start to finish. We asked Ronnie to talk about the performance of fibre cement weatherboards.
In terms of the performance of the boards, fibre cement are more durable boards because even if they are salt water, they're not going to rot, they're not going to split like timber. So in terms of coastal areas or things that are going to be heavily exposed to the weather, our boards can last longer. And after repainting, it will look like brand new as opposed to swelling of the timber or things like that.
So how do fibre cement weatherboards stand up against timber weatherboards?
So the issues that arise with timber weatherboards, as we know, is splitting, is swelling over time, it's peeling off the paint because the timber is swelling up. Things like bushfire as well, so making sure that it's suitable for bushfire. Not all timber weatherboards can be used for every bushfire class, or you gotta do something additionally. The fact that even if the coating is compromised, fibre cement, when it gets wet and it dries out, is still going to perform. So the paint may start peeling because now it's been exposed and it's unprotected, but even after that, the fibre cement weatherboards are still going to be performing. So what we call by a water-resistant product that often gets confused whether it's waterproofed or not, is the fact that when it gets wet, it doesn't get affected.
And how does a fibre cement weatherboard handle fire?
Fibre cement is a non-combustible product, so things that is very suitable for things like bushfire. So when the fire hits it, essentially it's not going to ignite.
So what's Ronnie's tip for ensuring the best performance from your weatherboards?
In terms of damp and mold, the weatherboards will be resistant, but it also depends on the type of paint that you're using. You know, low quality paints are more susceptible to growth of mold and mildew and things like that. So you want to make sure that you've got a high quality paint. So when you combine the fibre cement weatherboards with a high quality paint, it's going to be mold resistant and it's going to weather quite well. So the paint that you use is quite important, and it's something that often gets forgotten, and it should be included. You know, it's a whole system.
We asked Ronnie why he thinks fibre cement weatherboards are a more superior exterior cladding to timber weatherboards.
It's not going to yellow, it's not going to crack, it's not going to swell, and it's not going to expand or contract. So that's the difference.